Hey guys, it's Jennifer Wilson, your guide at Simple Scrapper. Welcome back to the Great Stash Bash. In this video, I'm going to talk all about corralling and using those scraps of pattern paper that just seem to pile up. So, how should you organize your scraps? My answer is you really shouldn't organize them. You need to create a designated home. And for me, this is a Sterilite drawer. It lives in, a whole drawer system of 4 drawers. And I have one drawer that's just for my pattern paper scraps. Anything that's, say, above probably 2 inches by 6 inches goes in this drawer. And it creates just this inspiring home of pattern papers that I can just grab when I need something for a project. You can see I have quite large papers in here as well. Anything kind of half sheet or smaller will go in here. If it's pretty close to a full sheet, I'll just put it back on with the rest of my pattern papers. And then I have a lot of things that were from 6x6 pads as well. And this has worked for me for a number of years now. I really appreciate just having that one receptacle so I know here's where my scraps go. And when it gets to be too much, I don't hesitate to sort through and recycle some items that really just no longer fit my style and I'm just not that into anymore. And I've done that, let's say, probably twice over the years. I've just gone through and recycled the bulk of my scraps and started fresh. And I know that, these papers, they served my needs in that time, and then I was done with them. But when it comes to scraps, I definitely recommend just having one receptacle that's an easy place to put your scraps and to just be really, really consistent about getting them into that place. And I think you'll find a lot of success with that approach. Having a home for your scraps is just half of the equation. Next, I want to show you 3 different strategies for using more of your pattern paper scraps on your layouts. Now, digital scrapbookers, I want you to know that this one is for you as well. In addition to just simple design techniques that you can learn here, I'm sharing strategies to get even more pattern papers onto one single layout. I'm going to call this first technique bunting because it's where I've used pattern papers as a dominant focal point on the page and arrange them with a banner display. And some of these pages are more overt with triangular shapes in a traditional bunting, and others are more abstract. I'm going to call this next technique the mosaic, and that's where you're taking your pattern papers and fitting smaller pieces into a larger context, whether that's a geometric shape or not. And in many cases, you often see this as a grid, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a grid. It could be something that's a little bit more abstract and asymmetric, yet still within the confines of that box. And finally, we have layers, taken to a more extreme level than on a typical scrapbook page. This uses scraps of pattern paper to emphasize and support your photo while creating a lot of variety and dimension by using a large number of patterns. Your challenge is to use the bunting, mosaic, or layer techniques to incorporate scraps of pattern paper on a layout. Before you go, make sure to enter our giveaway for a seat in Refresh. Refresh is our 7-day online scrapbooking retreat designed to help you start fresh in memory keeping each and every season. The next session is coming up in April. To win a seat, simply leave a comment on this video sharing your progress in using up, decluttering, or organizing your stash of scrapbook supplies. You may optionally include a link to a blog post, Instagram post, or YouTube video where you're sharing this progress with others. You must be registered for the Great Stash Bash to be eligible. Please check the description box for the registration link and the deadline to enter the giveaway.